Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between BratOk and HasuObs here from Lost Temple. This is game 2 in this matchup. Don't know what the best it is, if it's best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and cast these games and hope you guys enjoy them. Currently we have HasuObs spawning as the red Protoss player over here at the 2 o'clock position. Meanwhile we have BratOk spawning as the yellow Terran over here at the 8 o'clock position. So this is going to be a cross spawn here on Lost Temple. Now, going to be curious on how Hasu opens up, looking to just get a standard pylon here. I think Hasu really likes to tighten up his base a little, may put the gateway down here and then try to hide some of the tech buildings over there. Meanwhile, back in the base of BratOk getting the standard supply 10 supply depot, and then perhaps we'll also get go for about a 12 command center, 12 barracks as well. And that seems to be the standard opening for BratOk, more of a little bit economic build. Probe now out for HasuObs. HasuObs wandering around the map now, doing a little bit of scouting, trying to figure out what exactly BratOk is doing. BratOk getting this barracks down, should be getting a refinery in just a moment as well. And then we will get this game underway. Gateway is in fact down for HasuObs over here, trying to tighten up his base, and we have the refinery down for BratOk. In comes HasuObs' probe, and probe will be able to scout out, figure out where BratOk is, and then both players will be trying to make predictions on what exactly the strategies are. In comes this probe. Probe I do not believe knows that there is a refinery down yet, so really needs to check out that refinery to figure out what the strategies are and what exactly BratOk is trying to do. Does not see that tech lab now. No, we have an orbital command now being upgraded, and we should also have a tech lab being placed down as well momentarily. Still does not see that refinery, so he may assume that this is going to be mass marines. Oh, getting another supply depot down. Probe trying to come around that backside, may be able to come in and dish out some damage onto that single SCV. However, out comes a Marine. Marine doing a little bit of move and attack, wants to get into this position. However, HasuObs, aware that that the probe would have been vulnerable, takes the long way around in order to get back to his base. Nicely done. HasuObs also running off of a single assimilator as well. A single gateway, second gateway now being produced. Very, very tight base building for HasuObs. So standard build coming in from there. HasuObs now running away with that probe. Probe down to 2 shields and 11 hit points, as this SCV still is running around the inside of this base. Stalker now being produced by HasuObs. So HasuObs, the Protoss player, trying to get that early Stalker, making sure that he is not going to be too vulnerable to Reaper harassment. SCV still running around the inside of this base, just getting all the scouting information that he needs. Really wants to see what the next building is going to be placed down. If it's going to be somehow that SCV able to pass through that single Stalker. And what he wants to really see if it's going to be a Stargate or a robotics facility. Ooh, we have a third gateway, so we may be opening into a 4-gate strategy. And that 4-gate strategy, unless we have an additional barracks being placed down, it may be very difficult for BratOk to really be able to produce the correct amount of counter units. Knowing if HasuObs tries to go for a 4-pylon push, we'll be able to produce units much more quickly than BratOk, and BratOk may be forced to, or just may be really behind in terms of the unit and army count. Current army, HasuObs sitting at 225 versus BratOk's 350. Unit-wise, however, a single Stalker and 2 sentries versus 3 Marauders and 1 Marine, so fairly even in that aspect. Now, gateway still being produced, warp gate now being upgraded, and we also have a pylon down on this low ground. So HasuObs taking the opportunity to take his natural expansion, will also be able to start warping in some additional sentries and stalkers here. Now that that gateway research has been finished. For some reason, it hasn't finished upgrading this gateway yet, so only operating off of 2 warp gates and 1 single gateway. Stalkers now coming in, and there is that slow concussive shell and that single Stalker down to 2 hit points, somehow able to escape. So Hasu's Stalker able to survive and fight another day. Nexus still halfway done, still trying to be trained up, trying to be produced. A single Reaper from BratOk's base quickly gets destroyed, as there is now a single reactor, a reactor barracks, and also a tech lab barracks down. We should probably see some sort of factory sometime soon, except for BratOk has increased his production by so much in order to try to combat this this 3-gate opening. The Twilight Council now being placed down, so we may get Zealot Charge or Stalker Blink. We also may try. HasuObs may also try to go for a Dark Shrine or a Templar Archives. The main army of HasuObs now coming in perhaps wants to choke BratOk into his base. We saw this happen in Game 1, and we'll see how this works potentially in Game 2. If BratOk is unable to really secure an expansion, that would be very, very bad news, as he'd be stuck in his base. However, the orbital command centers can lift off to try to take off an additional base. Sentries now being placed down, so there's 4 sentries here in order to just continually drop force fields. So trying to use those force fields, trying to make sure that these units cannot come out to do any sort of engagement, as BratOk's army is so much larger than HasuObs. BratOk now getting a single command center over here in order to be able to lift off and then drop the command center off. We have 3 sentries, all of them with plenty of energy to do some force fields, and now we have a single Stalker trying to fight back against a SCV and a Probe. That SCV getting taken down, that Probe surviving with 1 hit point. EMP Shockwave clearing out a lot of the shields, or a lot of the energy from those 2 sentries. So are we going to get another force field? We may. Oh yeah, getting another force field. So one of those units was in fact able to make it on out of there. And now we have some concussive shells and some Marines firing back. That single Ghost down to 32 energy. They're wanting to keep track of it. Keep track of that Ghost. We do not have any arming of the nuclear silo yet, so we are not going to have any nuclear launches detected anytime soon. That Ghost able to focus down one of those sentries very easily, as that Ghost gets an additional damage bonus versus light units. More Stalkers, and now a single cannon coming into play. That Ghost quickly going to get taken down. Down it goes, as that photon cannon is an observer detector, is able to reveal the cloaked Ghost right there. Marines and Marauders with a single Ghost taking down this pylon, also killing that Probe as well as it's moving on out. BratOk sitting on a very large army, and while HasuObs sitting on a stronger Harvester count, so the economy for HasuObs is definitely stronger. Templar Archives now chrono boosting, trying to research that Psystorm. High Templar almost up to 75 energy, will be able to get a couple Psystorms off if lucky. We do in fact have more photon cannons being warped in, two pylons powering the rest of these buildings out here. We'll see how this is really going to work. A Psystorm being cast to really push back the rest of these units. A Medevac trying to heal up more of those units, and that Medevac may try to do a backdoor drop onto this high ground, and we'll see how this really works out. HasuObs does not have any way to view onto this high ground just yet. No hallucination being researched. A hallucination is one of those is a great ability in this particular instance, being able to view up onto that high ground. Marines and Marauders now just shooting down from that high ground. Cannons unable to fire back, and the High Templar is not even trying to do any Psystorms either. Also going to lose a single assimilator down here. That assimilator getting focused down, may lose a pylon as well. So now in comes a scanner. Ah, crud. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay.